Hello everybody, this is BeastCat100 and welcome back to some more Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies. In the previous episode, we had, well, a lot happened actually. Sorry, I'm blanking out. We finished the trial day 1 and proving the evidence to be not, Wow, brain. Come on, work with me here a little bit. In the last episode, we finished up the trial on day 1, but unfortunately discovered another scene, the assault on Apollo. And as Junie got indicted for that too, we went to try to turn the case around. And through pulling things out of our ass, we were able to do so. And now here we are once again with Mr. Ted Tonate, who is now being indicted as a courtroom bomber. Let's see if we can dismantle his argument, shall we? If you like what you see, leave a like down below, comment if you have anything to say, subscribe to me if you haven't already, click that bell so you're notified of everything that I do when I do it, and share with your friends so they can join in on this trial, investigation, adventure. Mr. Tonate, I'm afraid we have a few more questions for you. I understand the situation, Your Honor. I was keeping a close eye on the proceedings from the gallery. The allegations are all laughable. Objection! I wouldn't be laughing if I were you, Mr. Tonate. The message in blood matched your ID number. The same ID number that is there on that bomb transport case. Such a far-fetched theory. No better than a tangled ball of wires. I'll have them all untangled for you in no time at all. You were the first person on the scene after Detective Arm left her message in blood. You were the only one who could have hidden the writing and used it again later. I see times 2, but then let me ask you. Do you have any proof that Detective Arm wrote that message? That's a very good question. Well, do you, Mr. Wright? The best way to prove that Detective Arm wrote that message is to analyze the handwriting. What? No, the DNA. Your Honor, I request that a DNA test be performed on the blood itself. Once we know who it is, it will be obvious as to who wrote the message. Very well. Bailiff, please put in a request for a DNA test with the forensics team. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. Sorry, still getting back into the swing of things. It'll be some time before we have the results of the analysis. Till then, let's hear more from the witness itself. Himself. I would like nothing more, Your Honor. I want the court to hear how ridiculous the defense's theory is. After the explosion. I admit I was the first one on the scene after the explosion, but there was no bloody writing there at the time. Anyway, there was no way Detective Arm could have written it. She struck her head on the rubble, died near the courtroom entrance. She was too far away from where the bloody message was found. So you're saying that the victim's body was nowhere near where the writing was? Precisely. It's as plain as day that she could not have written it. It's true that the body was discovered near the entrance to the courtroom. Please have a look at this crime scene photo. As you can see, there's blood on the rubble near the victim's body. She must have died after hitting her head there. Ugh. I see. Alright then, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Do you have what it takes to take my infallible testament apart? After the explosion. I mean, I was the first on the scene after the explosion. Okay. But there was no bloody writing there at the time. Anyway, there's no way the detective arm could have written it. If she didn't write it, then who do you propose did? Mr. Justice, of course. Just before dying, he wrote the name of his attacker, Juniper Woods. He's not dead! Final message from your poor subordinate. Poor Mr. Justice, I'm starting to get all misty-eyed. Apollo's not dead, folks. So how can you be sure it wasn't Detective Arm who wrote the message? It is very simple. She had struck her head on the rubble and died near the courtroom entrance. With a flat object. Objection! No. No. You are a terrible liar, Mr. Sonate. Take a look at this autopsy, specifically the part about Detective Arm's head injury. Cause of death, trauma to back of head caused by impact with a flat object. Yes, what about it? Now take a good look at the bloody piece of rubble. It's sharp and pointed! Hey, you're right, boss. It is pointy. Just like your hair. That is odd, isn't it? What could be the meaning of this contradiction? I believe it means the victim did not hit his head on the piece of rubble. The blood stain you see is just another fabrication. Its purpose is to mislead us into thinking the victim died near the courtroom entrance. Are you claiming the culprit moved the victim's body? That's exactly what I'm claiming. The victim hit her head at some other location. Most likely on the floor or some other flat surface. And this location was somewhere near where the bloody writing was found. In that case, he definitely could have written the message. Your Honor, if you rejected the blood stain analysis. Very good timing. Let's take a look. According to the report, the message was written in Detective Arm's blood. And as the defense claims, only parts of the message that were added afterwards were written in Mr. Justice's blood. It would appear the defense's assertion is correct after all. Fucking yay. Yes! You did it! You were right, boss. Now I just have to drive it home. I'll have to take a good look at the bloody writing analysis later. Alright. Your name proves that the writing of the victim of the blood of the writing to be the victim. The lines that were added later were found to be Apollo's. Mr. Tony, it is now apparent you have told several lies to this court. I hope you have some sort of explanation for yourself. Fine, I will confess. You will? But then why are you so calm? This time I will tell the truth. The truth. It is true that Detective Arm wrote my ID number. She very plainly wrote L11015R. I was shocked, but I did not detonate the bomb. Detective Arm must have mistaken me for the real bomber. Not wanting to be accused, I moved the body and covered the writing. My bad. My bad? Fuck you. I see. So it is your assertion that you merely moved the body. Is that it? That is correct. I did not kill Detective Arm. Oh, well, if that's all you did, then... Wait a minute. That in itself is a criminal act. Glad to see you finally crossed that finish line, Your Honor. Very well, then. Your cross-examination, please, Mr. Wright. It's true that it's different from my ID number. She very plainly wrote L11015R. I don't know about that. I'm gonna call bullshit on that one. There is no R there. Objection! No. I just wanted to make doubly sure that that L10015R is really what you saw in blood. Saw written in blood. Yes, it is very clearly said L10015R. That's odd, because that's not what I see. Objection! Objection! What on earth are you babbling about now? It wasn't it you who claimed that the bloody writing was his ID number in the first place? Take a good look at the photo in the bloody writing analysis. Now tell me, does it really say L10015R? Oh, sir, something is missing, isn't it? And that something is the final R. What's the meaning of this, Mr. Tonate? Oh, right. No, I remember. There was no R on the end. It was just a slip of the finger. My bad. Come back, my beautiful contradiction. Mr. Wright, I'm not so sure it was just a simple slip of the finger. You have something for me, Athena? I sense that he's extremely agitated, almost panicked. He does look pretty flustered. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears it was nothing more than a mere mistake. I don't know. Did he really make a typo? What about that R? Did Mr. Tonate really see it? He thought he saw an... Oh, no, he actually saw it. He did. Maybe Mr. really did see the R. But there's no R anywhere in the bloody writing. What's going on here? Huh? Now that I take another good look at the photo, I think maybe... That's it! What is it now, Mr. Wright? Are you trying to imitate Apollo in his cords of steel? I've got it. So that's what happened. A slip of the finger. Is that really all it was? Because I don't think so. Suppose that Mr. Tonate really did see the little R. But the photo clearly shows that there's no R. No, Your Honor. Actually, just the opposite is true. Photo shows that Mr. Tonate actually could have seen the R. If you're going to make that claim, then you better be able to point out what you mean. What part of the photo shows that Mr. Tonate could have seen the R? This little blood stain right to the side here. Take that! Please look here, to the right of the 5. You see a little bit of red? Oh, I see it! Just on the edge of where the floor is broken up. That's the R that Mr. Tonate saw. Objection! It's true that the witness wears some very, very odd goggles. But that doesn't mean his eyesight is bad, nor his brain power. What part of that little smidge looks like an R to you? Objection! But what Mr. Tonate saw wasn't that little smudge. There was a whole incomplete R written there. Before the floor was damaged by the explosion. Oh, well, that explains it. Huh? Can you explain what you mean? Because you just proposed that everything happened in the exact opposite order. Yep, because that's the way it really went down. Timing of when the R was written turns everything about this case around. Now then, if the floor was damaged by the explosion, when was the message written? It was before. With the bloody message running off the edge of the damaged floor like that, we can only conclude that it was written before the explosion. But that's ridiculous! If that were true, it would overturn your own premise. That's right. It does. In fact, it turns everything upside down. The victim was not killed by the explosion in the courtroom. She was killed before the explosion ever occurred. Order! Order in the court! What kind of preposterous claim is that? Have you forgotten that the victim's body was found at the scene of the explosion? Objection! True, but consider this scenario. She was hit on the head and killed before the explosion, or even before the trial began. Her body was subsequently placed in the courtroom ruins after the bombing occurred. That way, it could be made to look like she was a victim of the blast. What? Sounded like we had a better look into what the victim was doing before the trial. Mr. Payne, did anyone see the arm before the trial? Let's see. According to the police report. Ah, here it is. One person saw the victim before the trial. And that person was Ted Tonate. Wait, what? No one besides Mr. Tonate saw the victim? That appears to be the case, Your Honor. I'd like to now ask the court to recall something. Specifically, Mr. Tonate's words from yesterday. It was when Detective Arm and I were transporting the bomb. Oh my. Mr. Tonate, just before the trial, you were with the victim. The two of you were together at the scene of the crime, courtroom number 4. Your Honor, the defense requests new testimony from Mr. Tonate. We wish to hear what he has to say about his whereabouts just before the trial. Mr. Tonate, your testimony, please. My testimony? There is no need for... What? He's completely unnerved, Mr. Wright. You must have hit the nail on the head. Because all I did was transport the bomb to the courtroom. I already told you. Blast this thing! I was only in the courtroom with the victim before our work, because of our work. I swear, I was only transporting the bomb there. Objection. You and the victim were alone at the scene of the crime. In other words, you certainly had the opportunity to commit murder, did you not? Objection. Tisk. Do you always leave yourself so open to attacks, Mr. Wright? What now, Mr. Payne? Yes, Mr. Tonate may have had the opportunity to kill Detective Arm, but an important piece of your assertion is missing. What important piece? The murder weapon. What do you claim was used to kill the victim? Mr. Payne has a point. Even if Mr. Tonate had a chance without a weapon, we can't accuse him of his crime. Well, Mr. Tonate? Oh, yes, that's right. I didn't have any sort of thing that could be used as a murder weapon on me. I couldn't possibly have killed Detective Arm. Did he really have nothing he could use as a murder weapon? What is it, Athena? Just looking over the victim's autopsy report. I'm hoping there's something here that can point us in the right direction. Well, it just says she died from trauma to the back of the head with a flat object. Yeah, and to inflict that specific kind of injury, all you would need to do is you would need is a flat surface, right? A heavy, blunt object with a flat surface could definitely be our murder weapon. Well, Mr. Wright, can you indicate for the court what was used to kill Detective Arm? I believe I can. Believe being the key word. You can? Then please do so now. What did Mr. Tonate have that could have been used as a murder weapon? Now I'm gonna walk through the logic that should have been. Flat, heavy object. Mr. Tonate could have used a remote, but that went missing. And I would assume that a remote wouldn't do enough damage to actually kill a victim without being hit multiple times. Couldn't have been the case. case wasn't flat and heavy, and it doesn't have any bloodstains on it. However, let's take a look here. Bomb weighs about 12 pounds. It's covered in alloy plating. It's flat on all sides. And the most important piece of the puzzle, the screen was cracked, like it had hit something. Take that! Mr. Tonate, you say you didn't have anything that could be used as a weapon. But, in fact, you had the perfect thing. What? What the devil are you talking about? You had this. That's the bomb. I thought you were trying to prove that the victim wasn't killed by the bomb blast. The bomb blast, no, but I believe Candace's arm was killed with the bomb. Because this is the blunt object that delivered the fatal blow to her head. Please recall the description of Detective Arm's head wounds. Trauma to the back of the head caused by impact with a flat object. We assume this injury was sustained when her head hit the floor. But a blow from any flat side of the bomb would produce the exact same wound pattern. What's with him? Then show me some proof! Where's the evidence that I hit the victim with the bomb? He's right. I don't have anything decisive. Did you find any of the victim's blood on the bomb? That would be decisive proof. But too bad, the bomb is blown to bits, it's long gone! Boom! Game over. Yeah! Ugh. Mr. Wright, is there really nothing on the bomb in the photo? Ugh, I don't see any blood or anything. Wait, the timer display is a little broken here. Maybe it broke when it made contact with Detective Arm's head. It's definitely a distinct possibility. But unless we find a fragment with the victim's blood on it, it's not going to count. Ah, I guess you're right. By setting off the bomb, 28 minutes to obliterate all traces of the murder weapon. What in the world do I do now? Times like this, I've got to change gears and look at things in a different way. Instead of looking for the things he wasn't able to hide, I should be looking for a way to expose the things he did hide. Tonate murdered Detective Arm before the trial started. Then he placed her body in the courtroom after the bomb went off. Which means there was something he needed to keep hidden until then. And I think I have just the thing. Time to present the photo that shows exactly what Mr. Tonate had to hide. Your Honor, please take a look at this. The fact that Mr. Tonate hid this makes it decisive evidence for my case. Not sure if I really understand what you mean by that, Mr. Wright. I'm not sure either, Your Honor. Me either. Here's a penalty to inspire you to make more comprehensible assertions in the future. Well, that was a spectacular belly flop. Can't back down now. I'd better reconsider what Mr. Tonate could have hidden. Before the trial started. I mean, he had to hide the body, right? The body? Okay. Your Honor, there's something we've all been overlooking. If the murder took place before the trial, Mr. Tonate would have had to hide the body somewhere during the trial. Hey, you're right. And if we could figure out where the hiding place was... Exactly. We might be able to find some evidence we can pin him down with. So where could Mr. Tone have hidden the body during the trial? I jumped the gun right again. Bomb transport case. Take that! Wait. A big box enough for a box big enough for a body. Box that was in the courtroom the whole time. Box nobody would touch if they thought there was a bomb in it. Mr. Tonate! What is it? Do you finally have some decisive evidence to show me? No, you're the one who's going to show it to me. Come again? You heard me. Now, show me what's inside of that bomb transport case. What? Why? No! There's no need! Got him now. Just before the trial, you killed the victim with a blunt object. And then, you placed her body in the ruins of the courtroom after the bomb went off. Clearly, you were trying to make it look like she died in the explosion. But where was the body hidden during the trial? Oh, I hadn't thought of that. The answer is right here. Inside a box made of thick alloy plating that can withstand any impact. No, that's, completely false. If it's false, you should have no objections to showing us your transport case. So, let's open it and take a look inside, shall we? Hold it! Let's not. Not if you value your life. What is he up to now? Remain calm and listen carefully. This bomb will detonate in 5 minutes. What? Huh? I repeat, this HH-3000 will detonate in 5 minutes. What's going on? Your Honor, I recommend you adjourn this trial before this bomb goes off. Mr. Tonate, are you threatening me? I'm the only one who can disable this bomb. If you do not want to die, your only option is to listen to me. Mr. Tonate, did you say that's just a training model, a fake to practice on? I did, but I also lied. This is the real deal. This is the HS-3000. But the HS-3000 was used to blow up the courtroom number 4, wasn't it? How do you know it was the real HS-3000 that blew up the courtroom number 4? Huh? The bomb that blew up the courtroom was a different one. One that I made. What the are we to take that as a confession on your part? Take it any way you would like. Just before the trial, I took the HH-3000 out of the stuffed animal and put my own bomb in it. That was the bomb that exploded and destroyed courtroom number 4. Mr. Tonate, please be reasonable. Do you really expect us to believe a crazy story like that? The HH-3000, it's so unique. I had never seen anything like it. It is so unique that I could not replicate the detonation mechanism. So I just had to have it. Besides, did anyone look inside the stuffed animal during the trial? Did anyone check to see if it really was the HH-3000 in there? I must confess, no one opened the stuffed animal to check. So there really is a possibility that the bomb was switched out. No, not a possibility, a certainty. I did it. So we had a real bomb with him this whole time. You had better get out of here while you still can. You do not have much time. Order in the court! I'm out of here! It's gonna blow! Run! You four are still here. Well, aren't you brave? It just wouldn't do for the judge presiding over this court to run. But that horrible explosion the other day. The judge looks like he's about to book it for the nearest exit any second. Mr. Payne. That is... Ah! And he's off. Mr. Wright, what do we do? Ugh. Be pretty pathetic to run now, wouldn't it? But the bomb might really go off. Only 3 more minutes, folks! Is that bomb really the HH-3000? What should I do? Stand my ground! Can't run now. Well, it's been fun, but I will be going now. With my dear, dear HH-3000, naturally. Oh, and by the way, I would advise against having me followed. Even with no remote switch, this bomb can still be triggered manually. If I think I'm being followed, I will detonate it on the spot. Farewell. Objection! You're not going anywhere, Destotim. Oh. Your Honor, there's no reason to be afraid. That bomb is a fake. Are you sure, Mr. Wright? Huh. More of your famous bluffing. Even at the risk of your own life. Mr. Wright, none of your bluffing now. Not a time like this. Lives are on the line here. I'm not bluffing, and I have proof. You do? Yes, of course, Your Honor. It's right here in the photo of the bomb, clear as day. Proof that Mr. Tonate's bomb is not the real HH-3000. Really? I'll print it then. Immediately. What's the proof that what Mr. Tonate is holding is not the real HH-3000? Well, like we mentioned before, it's the display screen. Take that! Display for the timers on the bomb and the photo is broken. Most likely, it broke when Mr. Tonate used the bomb to attack the detective arm. The display on the bomb in front of us is not broken. Oh, you're right! Therefore, it's not the real HH-3000. Mr. Tonate was clearly lying when he said he switched out the bomb and the stuffed animal. Real HH-3000 blew up courtroom number 4. The bomb is nothing more than a fake, a model used for training purposes. Fear not, Your Honor. I will examine the inside of the bomb transport case myself. Yes, please do that, Mr. Wright. No, stop! And there it is. What is that? Is that a bloodstain? Just as I expected. Your lies have now all been blown to bits, Mr. Tonate. I'm confident DNA analysis on this bloodstain will confirm that it's Detective Arm's blood. And that those results will conclusively prove that you murdered Detective Arm. How about it, Mr. Tonate? Think you can dismantle this decisive evidence? Dismantle it? You're too late! You missed your chance to run, so now you're out of time! This HH-3000 is about to explode! Don't try to threaten us, Mr. Tonate. I've already proved that your bomb is a fake. It's real! This bomb is the real thing, I tell you! It's real. Mad bomber, party of one. There's no time, lads. It's going to blow. I have to disarm it. I have to take it apart. I can dismantle anything. I can take apart evidence. I can take apart bombs. I can dismantle it all. Dismantle, 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 dismantle. It's not gonna make it! Only one thing left to do! Stop! Made it! Game over. Dismantle attempt failed. It's all over. My life has been blown to pieces. It's all that stupid woman's fault. I was selling bombs, I disarmed on the black market. When I tried to take this one, she just had to notice, didn't she? She confronted me in the courtroom number 4 that day. That's why I had no choice. Before I knew what I was doing, I hit her. It's all her fault. While I was looking for a place to hide her body, she left a message in her own blood. The trial was about to start, so I didn't have time to clean it up. And now all of this. Thought for sure I could disguise her death with an explosion. But that stupid and French attorney started sticking his own nose into my business. After testimony yesterday, I went to courtroom number 4 and found the kid all up in my bomb transport case. That's when I snuck up behind him, and BAM! And well, when the idiot police arrested that little girl, I thought for sure I could pin it all on her. Why? Oh, why? Tonight, you are hereby under arrest. On suspicion of the courtroom bombing and the assault on Mr. Justice. Your innocence or guilt will be determined at a later trial. Now then, I see that members of the public have returned to the gallery. One person, however, seems to still be running far, far away. Be that as it may, I will now announce Miss Juniper Wood's verdict. Not guilty! Woo! Court is now adjourned. Whew. December 18th, 12:31 p.m., District Court. Defendant Lobby number 5. You did it, boss! Yeah, I guess we managed to pull it off somehow. So many mysteries cleared up at once, it was amazing. Just sort of worked out that way, didn't it? That's not the kind of thing that usually just works out. You made it happen. And the way that Mino prosecutor hightailed it out of here, that was great. Mr. Wright, Tina, thank you for everything. Thank you for everything you did to me. For me. I'm so happy for you, Junie. Now you can go back home to the forest in peace. I hope the both of you will come and visit me there sometime. That would be nice. Thank you for the invitation. Huh. I don't know, Mr. Wright. I'm not so sure you can make it all the way up to Junie's house. How high up do you live again, Junie? Around 3,000 feet, I think. What? That's no forest, that's a mountain! But, you know, boss, there's something that still bothers me about the case. One little mystery we never got around to solving. Oh, that? Yeah, I was wondering about that too. Is this the unsolved mystery you're thinking of? Where the hell the remote went? The remote switch, right? Yeah, I wonder where it disappeared to. Maybe Miss Turner just got rid of it somewhere. Yeah, it is a pretty big thing to leave unsolved, though. Well, let's leave it up to the police to find. For now, we should be celebrating our not guilty verdict. I guess you're right. Hey, I know. Junie, shall we go report the good news? You know, to that certain someone. Okay. Huh? Her grandmother? No, silly, to Apollo! Oh, right. Well, why don't we all go to the hospital together to see him? Great idea. I bet he's bored out of his mind. Okay. And so, the courtroom bombing case came to a close. But the next trial was just over the horizon. There's never a dull moment with so many lawyers in the office, that's for sure. Apollo Justice, Athena Sykes, and me, Phoenix Wright. Between the three of us, there's no case we can't solve. When our powers combined, we're an unstoppable team. At least, that's what I believed. But all that changed with what Apollo said to us that day. It was something that would put my faith in us to the ultimate test.
Sorry, but I'll be taking a leave of absence.
Wait, what do you mean by a leave?
Can you at least give me a reason why?
I can only say that this is something I must settle on my own.
Oh, why, Apollo? Why are you shutting us out?
What happened to you, Apollo? Ever since you put that jacket on, you've changed. And now, for whatever reason, all my mind keeps doing is returning to the day I first met you. We had tackled our first case together, and he and I this past spring. And as we did, I came to know who he is and how he thinks. It was a very peculiar case, one in which the victim was killed by a mythical creature. And we'll have to tackle that next time. New episode has been added, The Monstrous Turnabout. This is just beginning. And I am very excited to play through this again. But for now, we're going to wrap it up here. In the next episode, we move on to Dual Destinies Episode 2, The Monstrous Turnabout. A little bit of a flashback case, if you will. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys later.